Right, we've got to talk Chelsea because there's going to be some unhappy Chelsea fans. I thought they were poor tonight again. Another poor showing from Lukaku. I mean, what's going on there? Get involved. 03717 22 33 44. Let's go to Pat, who's a Chelsea fan. Pat, good evening.
Evening, Pat.
Good evening, Dean, and the two of you. Unless you played against the Metropolitan Police in the Southern Counties
I've
League.
played against them, Pat.
I know they are hard, and I'm telling you. And then they'd nick you in the car park, which will put in a tackle in.
Pat, I've played against them. I'll
tell you, Jay, they were hard. I played against them in the 70s when we played in the Southern Counties.
Yeah.
And we had a geezer from Wimbledon, ex-player called Eddie Reynolds. And he warned us about them when we played them. But listen, away from that, I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm still out doing scrap metal. I'm an old steptoe. But I tell you something now, something is seriously wrong at Chelsea. I think it stems from Lukaku. And whatever pundit sits there and keeps ranting on about Mason Mount, he didn't even show tonight. And for the defending, to let that guy come from behind and nobody tracked him and get a free header on a ball like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that was shameful. Now, our named players tonight, Jorginho, wow, what a mess. And I mean that. An absolute disgrace. Alonso, you are kidding me. Lukaku, he didn't win nothing. I think he won one aerial battle for a flick on that came to nothing, and that's the rowing on the pitch. Professional a team like Chelsea, players rowing on the pitch, and that is shameful.
Ziyech and Lukaku you're on about.
That's absolutely right, Dean, but it don't matter what ones it was, it shouldn't have been any of them. But that should be kept in the dressing room.
Pat, what's going on there? Do you think it's to do with the whole Lukaku situation with Thomas Tuchel? Because it just seems that whole situation's gone a bit sour. Since that interview that Lukaku's done, he's been playing him Tuchel, but I don't feel like there's that relationship that you need with a £100 million player that you've invested in.
Look, it's stemmed from Lukaku. There's no getting away from it. It's obviously Mason Mount's involved with it somewhere because the way he's been dropping him, bringing him back. His game has been absolute rubbish. It's obviously involved Jorginho. He's not the player he was, Jorginho. And that stems from the West End.
He's become the third best player in the world. He just got in the FIFA 11.
Jay, now be fair, did you watch the game tonight?
Yeah, we watched it.
And what do you think?
He gave the ball. He had a bad night. He gave the ball away.
Not just him, mate. I'm not disrespecting anybody, yeah? But not just him. They were all absolutely rubbish. And it's a terrible situation for a club like Chelsea to be in. They're going to this World Cup thing in a couple of weeks. I wouldn't bother going if I were them.
Do you know what, Pat? I looked at it today. They were like good players giving the ball away. Too many unforced errors. They looked as if it was like a game too far for some of them. They'd had like big games. Then they're playing Brighton away, who were excellent, apart from the final third. Brighton, I thought, were great until they got to the final third. Chelsea were there for the taking. And if Brighton had a couple more finishers on the pitch, they might have gone on and won the game. But I thought Chelsea got away with it a little bit. But do you think it's something to do with, and I don't like criticising managers, but I'm watching the manager. I think he's brilliant, Tuchel. But the last few weeks, young players giving the ball away, and he's turning round and facing the other way and he's showing his disgust at the mistakes they're making.
Yeah.
And I think it affects the young players. And
I
look,
think he's getting frustrated.
Mason Mount looks like he's nailed him in the dressing room a few times. He looks as if he's had the stuffing knocked out of him. To me, he's another one. But Kante was even giving the ball away tonight.
Well, they all were. I mean,
Kovacic giving the ball away.
You have to give credit to Brighton. Pat, thanks for that call. Brilliant. And you have to give credit to Brighton. I thought they were fantastic. They moved the ball. As you said, though, Dean, the final third with them kills them, doesn't it? I mean, they get into great areas, and you make a good point. They're almost like a five-a-side team. When they can pass it, they move it, get into great positions. But when they get in that final third, they're just not ruthless enough.
No. I bet if you watched them training, five-a-sides, they'd be like unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we've seen loads of them in our career, Jim. You call them five-a-side players.
Yeah.
when it comes to what you pay the money for in that box and the other box, that's what you pay the money for. I think.
Yeah, but Chelsea have played £93 million for Lukaku, and he can't hit the back of the net.
I know he's getting a bit of stick at the minute, but if you look at his overall career, he's had the finger pointed at him everywhere he's gone. I've pointed the finger at him thinking he can do more than he does, but his goal record's unbelievable. And he's gone through a little patch now.
Little one. It's more. It's gone beyond that, hasn't it?
He started off, even tonight, he still looked dangerous, but the ball's not going in for him right now. I'm going to stick up for him a little bit, but I understand what he's saying. Sometimes you don't do enough. He's done that interview, and it's sort of like spread through the camp a little bit. Where
it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've lost a bit of spark.
Well, I think with Tuchel, when he come in, they won the Champions League, and then you're going into this season, they look like a proper side, like a team. Trying to break Chelsea down was like almost impossible. You didn't score against them, and then Lukaku at the start of the season was scoring goals and was flying. You're thinking, wow, this Chelsea side looks dangerous. Then all of a sudden, since that interview, I know they've had some injuries as well, but they just don't look the same team. Like they look easier to score against. They look more open. They're not fighting for each other. It looks like to be sort of little arguments happening on and off the pitch. It just doesn't seem right. Now, what the owners are like, Abramovich, with managers. He's ruthless. If he sees it going south, he'll change it quickly. Could you see him getting a sack this season?
No, not yet, because Man City have been that good. If Man City were a bit nearer, but Man City, I think everyone's accepted that Man City had looked like they're going to run away with it. But, you're looking at the two centre-backs of Brighton last night marking Lukaku, Webster and Dan Burn, who you've played with.
Played with Dan, yeah.
I thought the two of them were brilliant, and they won that battle against Lukaku tonight. He got given offside a couple of times. He nearly got in a couple of runs, but they must have been delighted when he went off. Still.
Yeah.
Hudson-Odoi still on the pitch, done nothing. And then when Lukaku's number went up, they must have gone, what's going on here? 1-1 at Brighton, you take your top scorer off. I wouldn't have taken him off.
No, I agree with you on that.
Because he does score out of nothing.
That's what makes me think there's something going on. Let's go to Mark, who's a Chelsea fan. Mark, good evening.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, boys. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm stuck in the car park in Brighton.
We got you.
I've got a on a couple of things. Can you hear me okay?
You can't
Sorry
do
about
that,
Mark.
to him.
I've got to correct you. Jamie, you're saying Lukaku was really good before the interview. He had 1.5 good games, Aston Villa away, and I can't even remember.
I'm talking at the start of the season. I thought he was
start of the season, but he went 8 or 9 games prior to that. He come back in after his injury. He had 1.5 good games. He's given the interview tonight. I was in that crowd tonight. He got booed off. I don't know if it come through on the telly, but he got booed off tonight. And,
so you booed Lukaku? Did you boo Lukaku?
No, I didn't. But I'm telling you, it come from the side. He got not the full end, but probably half of that end booed him off tonight. And I do feel sorry for him sometimes. I want to give a shout out to Lamptey tonight. I thought
he played well.
Excellent.
He caused Marcus Alonso so many.
Yeah, he was excellent.
It just shows we need a replacement for Marcus Alonso. As much as I like him, but Lamptey he played very well.
I bet you were pleased when he went off as well. Lamptey, yeah, I couldn't believe he took Lamptey off. He was causing havoc. Then he took him off.
Marcus Alonso, he couldn't believe it when he went off.
Look a bit leggy, don't you, Mark? Chelsea, the team looks a bit leggy. The sort of pace. I think there was a moment where, Thiago Silva, and I love Thiago Silva, but one ball, I think Dan Burn just turned one down the channel, and it just looked like you just lacking a bit of pace. Alonso lacking pace.
He had a piano on his back.
I'll tell you now, it's only going to get worse. We've got this World Club Championships, which we could probably do without.
Yeah.
I don't know. Credit to Brighton today. They took 4 points off us this season, and they probably deserve a bit more than that, but... yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Too many draws.
Too many. Mark, thanks for your call.
Mark.
Keep them coming in. 03717 22 33 44. This is the Sports Bar on talkSPORT with me, Jamie Hart, and Dean Saunders.